There's a type of person who's not looking for love or even appreciation. They live just to be better than you. They enjoy ignoring you, break you with a cold smile, and get a thrill when they see you nervous around them. That's the narcissist, your enemy who smiles at you while planting doubt in your mind every day. If you don't get their psychological game, you'll lose yourself just trying to please them. But today, you'll take back control. I'll give you a quiet plan, no shouting, no direct revenge, just a psychological approach that slowly melts their ego and makes them feel exposed and weak in front of you. In this video, you'll learn how to scare a narcissist without touching them. How to crush their pride with just your gaze, silence, and confidence. Respect doesn't need words, it just needs presence. Get ready with full awareness. The time for psychological shock has come. First off, a narcissist doesn't live on love, they live on control. Your being in their life means nothing unless you're constantly paying attention to them, asking about them, waiting for a look or a word. In short, unless you're orbiting around them. But the moment you suddenly stop seeking their attention, when you don't look for them, don't ask, don't show any desire for them to notice you, that's when the silent phase of their breakdown begins. Imagine someone walking on a stage, raising their hand, waiting for applause, but no one claps. They get confused, looking left and right, wondering if they've lost their shine if no one sees them anymore. That's the moment. The narcissist's internal meltdown happens because they simply can't handle the idea of having no audience. And here's the surprise, the more you ignore them, the more they try to get your attention, either openly or sneakily. They might suddenly act nice, start making up situations to show off, or even try to provoke you. Just watch, but don't respond, don't ask, don't notice. That's when you become the real director of the show and they're the actor stuck in their silence. You might think ignoring their demands is enough to break them, but wait until they're stripped of their main weapon, their excuse, which is what keeps you trapped in their reactions. What happens next might shock you more than you expect. The second point, when dealing with a narcissist, be careful not to fall into the trap of justifying yourself. They're not looking for the truth, they're looking for a weakness in you. Every word you use to explain your side, every sentence you use to justify your actions becomes a tool in their hands to twist the story later and blame you. A narcissist doesn't listen to understand, they listen to judge. So when you say, I did this because I felt this way, they don't see your honesty, they see an opportunity to mock your feelings. They start storing your words to use as emotional weapons against you when the time's right. So instead of giving explanations, learn to keep it short, say what you need calmly without extra details, or better yet, don't say anything at all. Say less, not at all. Silence here doesn't mean running away, it means taking control. Silence shuts the narcissist's window into your soul, making them feel like you're behind clear glass. They can see you, wonder what's going on inside, but can't get through. Over time, this silence becomes an annoying mirror reflecting their helplessness, driving them crazy trying to get a reaction out of you. In that moment, you'll notice them starting to justify themselves, trying to pull words out of you, asking loaded, provoking questions just to force you to explain, defend, or fall into their usual trap. But don't fall for it. Keep your answers short or stay silent. Make every response from you completely emotionless. No explanations here, and this is exactly where the twist happens. While you think he wants to understand you, he's actually falling apart inside because you're no longer under his control. You've taken away his pleasure of manipulating your interpretation. But what if you said just two simple words, words you think are harmless but actually stir up a storm inside him? Discover this psychologically deadly word in the next point. Point 3. In the narcissist's world, control isn't a choice, it's a necessity. He always needs to feel like his words guide you, his gaze confuses you, and his actions ignite storms within you. But there's just one short, simple word that can do all that. You can crush his ego in an instant with just one word that strips away his power and makes him stagger like he got hit on the head out of nowhere. Yeah, just those two words are enough to completely mess with his mind. When he tells you what to do, threatens you, or forces a decision on you expecting you to refuse, defend, or confront him, you just smile calmly and reply with words that are bland and meaningless, just like you want. In that moment, the narcissist feels like his grip is slipping, like you're slipping right through his fingers, and everything he planned suddenly falls into nothingness. He doesn't just hear your words then. Deep down, he feels the echo of "you don't matter to me anymore." Get into a fight over your opinion. Your power doesn't work anymore, and that's exactly what breaks him down. He needs a reaction, any reaction, to prove to himself he still controls your feelings the way he wants. But when you calmly respond however you want, every time, without hesitation, you plant a silent seed of madness in him. The best part? With just a few words, you don't get into any conflict, don't raise your voice, don't get upset, don't explain, just end the scene with two words that flip the whole situation upside down. And the more you say it, the more he burns inside because he feels like you're no longer playing his game. But what if he starts feeling like he's losing? What if he feels that your silence and calm words strip him of his sharpest weapon, and then he might resort to his last card, public humiliation? How you handle this moment is where your real test begins, and we'll reveal that in the next point, the fourth point. The narcissist doesn't insult you just to vent his anger, he does it to put on a show. He's waiting for that explosion in your eyes, the tremble in your voice, a change in your expression, any sign that you've fallen into his trap. These aren't just hurtful words, they're bait carefully set to catch your reaction. But when you give him a cold, emotionless look, when you look at him like he's something that doesn't concern you or affect you at all, that's when the surprise happens. The insult bounces right back onto him. And that's where the power shifts. This time, no shouting, no drama, just silence bouncing back at him like a silent slap to the ego. It makes him wonder, did I fail? Am I no longer able to affect him? What changed deep inside? Doubt creeps in, and for a narcissist, doubt is worse than any insult because they always assume they're the one in control, the leader. When he sees you no longer flinch, no longer flare up, no longer respond, he feels like all his power has suddenly been ripped from his hands. You'll notice he starts repeating himself, saying the same things over and over, or cranking up the insults, or trying to provoke you with even harsher situations. But you stay steady, silent, cold, like a wall that doesn't echo back anything. And right there, he feels powerless. He struck, but never heard you fall. He screamed, but no one heard him. It was like you became a deaf wall, giving him no reaction to bounce back to his swollen ego. For him, that's harsher than any insult because you simply denied him the prize of the fight, a reaction. You threw him off with your frozen feelings and dried up the sources of his power. But do you think it's over? No. The knockout blow doesn't happen in private, it happens in front of everyone. Next, we'll show how to completely destroy his image in front of others without saying a single word. Point 5. The narcissist doesn't just want to control you behind the scenes, he feeds off public admiration, the looks from the crowd, the unspoken applause from onlookers. The other person is a talented actor who only shines on a stage full of an audience. His natural place, or so he thinks. He's the center of attention, the spotlight, the eyes on him. But what happens when nobody looks at him? When he's in the same room at the same event and everyone acts like he's not even there? That's when the real breakdown starts. Because you didn't just ignore him quietly, you stripped away his fake image out in the open. Picture this, he makes an arrogant comment, expecting you to laugh, argue, or at least react, but you don't even glance his way. No laugh, no look, no acknowledgement at all. To you, he simply doesn't exist. In that moment, the narcissist feels like something inside him just snapped. His carefully crafted identity crumbled right before everyone's eyes because the one person who was supposed to acknowledge him didn't. What's worse is that people noticed it. Yeah, those around you noticed your silence, your coldness, how you stopped reacting. But they also saw his awkwardness, his tears, his desperate attempts to get attention, the way he kept looking at you like he was begging for your care without actually saying it. That's when the whole picture becomes clear. The narcissist who thrived on the spotlight turned invisible, and the lights that used to shine on him now circle around your silence. At that moment, for him, it was the worst thing ever, more painful than yelling in his face, because it meant one thing, something he just couldn't handle. You don't see him as important anymore, neither you nor anyone around you. Now, you're not just giving advice, you're holding 5 silent bullets, each aimed precisely at the core of the narcissist's personality. One bullet cuts off their supply of attention. Another strips away their mask of excuses. A third reduces their power to just 2 words, whatever you choose. The fourth freezes your emotions so they get lost in the echo of silence. And the fifth erases their existence openly, without noise or shouting. These aren't shallow tricks. They're carefully crafted psychological weapons, only mastered by someone who understands the game and decides to end it with honor and calm. Use them wisely. And remember, the harshest punishment isn't hearing. It's feeling, tearing down their castles of arrogance from within. Now it's your turn. Have you ever dealt with a narcissist? Have you tried any of these steps? Share your experience or questions in the comments. We might feature them in the next video.